The 2018 season is here, and on this edition of This Week in the NPSL, we will show you that while even though it's only May, the league has already made history with its performance in the U.S. Open Cup. Highlights are ahead from first-round action. There are also several new additions to the NPSL. We will look at those teams, including one in the Golden Gate Conference, where we will find this week's Player of the Week. We are starting down the road to the NPSL Championship next. Hi, did you miss us? Well, we missed you, and we missed the great action of the NPSL. This coming weekend is our first full slate of matches, but many teams are already into their schedules, and we'll get into some of those highlights later. But we will start with a historic week for the league, as 21 teams competed in the first round of the U.S. Open Cup, and more than half of those are moving on to the second round. One of those teams is FC Motown. When we last left you, they were known as Clarkstown SC-Eagles, and they made it to the Northeast Final before falling to the eventual champions from Elm City. Wednesday night, they played New York Red Bulls under-23s in the first round of the U.S. Open Cup. In the 32nd minute, FC Motown's Matt Nigro takes a loose pass at the 30-yard line and powers it into the Red Bulls crossbar. Just 2 minutes later, Motown's Chris Katona sends a long cross into the box from the right side, where Dilly Duca strikes it low into the right side netting for Motown's first goal. Motown kept the pressure on and scored again in the 45th minute when Katona threw the ball in long from the right side of the box, where it is headed for Duca. Duca takes it on the chest, drops it to his feet, and sends it in the left side netting, giving Motown a 2-1 lead. Both teams had chances in the second half, but both keepers played well and kept the ball out of their respective nets, and the game ended 2-1, FC Motown over the Red Bulls. Motown plays in the second round against Penn FC of the USL at Drew University on May 16th. New Orleans Jesters hosting Mississippi Brea, and this one is scoreless until the 65th minute when Ozzie Brock scores from long range to make it 1-0 for Mississippi. Jesters would answer 7 minutes later as Tom Pierce buries the volley to level things, and it would stay that way all the way to penalty kicks. Brea lead 3-2 on their final kick, but Chad Collins keeps the Jesters alive with a big stop. And so it comes down to Igor Shishkov, but he is stopped by Jordan Bell, and the Brea win the PK shootout 3-2, eliminating the Jesters. Armada FC hosting Sima Aguilas in Monteverde, Florida, and a corner taken by Connor Doyle is controlled by J.C. Banks, back to Doyle, then pass to Michael Melvin for a cross into the box. It deflects off of a Sima Aguilas defender, but Joshua Castellanos was waiting to collect the ball and directed it in the net. Doyle would add another in the 76th minute as they advance and will host the Tampa Bay Rowdies next week. Congrats to the 12 teams who advanced to the second round, and we know at least one NPSL team will be in the third round because Miami FC2 and Miami United FC are going against each other next Wednesday. But good luck to all of our teams next week. When we come back, we will go into the league highlights and check in on a border war in the heartland. And we look in on our Player of the Week. That's next.
Keep up to date on NPSL with scores, schedules, stats, and exclusive content on NPSL.com. Visit NPSL.com to browse our dedicated ticket platform, read up on NPSL Spotlight, and view the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL. SoccerStub is the official ticket provider of the NPSL and powers the league ticket platform. Support live local soccer by visiting tickets.npsl.com to find tickets to NPSL matches near you directly from NPSL teams.
This was the scene in August as Elm City Express hoisted the championship trophy, and the fight to raise the trophy this year is well underway. As we welcome you back to This Week in the NPSL, we will start this season's highlights with two teams who know each other very well, Tulsa Athletic and Little Rock Rangers. The teams drew last year in Little Rock, while the A's won 3-2 in Tulsa, and this year they kicked off Heartland Conference action. Tulsa Athletic opening the season against the Rangers. This is their first year in new Veterans Park location, and these two cities are connected by the Arkansas River, but it took a long while for both sides to get it flowing on Sunday. 31st minute, and it's Tulsa that scores first. Jake Schmoker finds the head of Brady Ballou, and the former Tulsa Roughneck dinks it in. It's 1-0. In the 42nd minute, the A's Joe Garcia sends a corner that eventually finds the foot of Gustavo Vargas in front of the goal, who puts it in for a 2-0 lead for Tulsa at the half. Tulsa continues to keep their head in the game as Damian Thomas heads a Jake Schmoker free kick past Little Rock keeper Logan Vallenstein. For the first goal of the second half, it's 3-0 Tulsa. That served as a wake-up call for the Rangers, as less than a minute later they surge forward and find Trevor Reed, who beats Justin Bauer and knocks it in off the far post to trim the lead to 3-1. But much like the muddy Arkansas River, Tulsa's attack could not be stopped. Levi Coleman finds smoking Joe Garcia. Garcia finds some finesse to just nudge it past Vallenstein to push it to 4-1 Tulsa. A little later, more of the same. This time Garcia returns the favor, assisting Coleman for Tulsa's 5th of the day. And they had one last chance to add to their tally on a free kick outside the box. Ricky Chavez lofts it towards the head of Vargas, who is able to head it home, completing the scoring. Tulsa wins 6-1. The Rangers will have to wait until the final week of the regular season to exact revenge on Athletic when the sides play at Little Rock's War Memorial Stadium. And while many teams are yet to kick off, we want to show you the standings to give you a feel for the league alignment in 2018. The Atlantic is now condensed to one conference, with New York Cosmos B getting an early leg up. The Mid-Atlantic looks different with the additions of FC Baltimore, North Virginia United, and Charlottesville Alliance FC. The Keystone has the rebranded FC Motown, as well as the addition of FC Monmouth and Atlantic City FC, which, just my personal opinion, has one of the best logos in all of sports. The Sunshine adds Miami FC 2, and Beaches FC is now Palm Beach United. The Southeast Conference, like the Atlantic, is back to a single division with rebranded Emerald Force and the addition of Greenville FC. The Lone Star adds Katy 1895 FC, FC Brownsville, and Laredo Heat SC. The Heartland welcomes aboard St. Louis Club Atletico. Several new members out west with the additions of ASC San Diego and FC Golden State in the Southwest, and both are off to fast starts. Kitsap is now Kitsap Pumas in the Northwest. El Farolito already with 4 wins. FC Davis and Academica SC are now members of the Golden Gate Conference. And then moving to the Midwest, the East Conference welcomes Cleveland SC. The Great Lakes Conference adds FC Columbus. And finally, we end with the conference with no additions, the North Conference, where Sioux Falls and Minneapolis City drew on Saturday. And speaking of Minneapolis City, they and Med City play this Saturday, and that game has been selected as our NPSL Game of the Week. And we hope to have highlights of that match next week. And finally, it's time to announce our first NPSL Player of the Week, and it is Cody Golbad from Academica SC. Golbad had a pair of tallies last weekend. That brings his total to 6 goals in 8 games to go along with 2 assists. Cody played at UC Merced, where he was the school's first ever NAIA All-American. This is his 2nd year playing for Academica and is the lead scorer in their first season here in the NPSL. Congrats to Cody. And congrats to all our teams advancing in the U.S. Open Cup, and we will show you how they did when we return next week on This Week in the NPSL.